Welcome back to SERP Focus, or if this is your first time, welcome to SERP Focus. This is the SERP Focus segment number 3, and today I'm going to be answering a question. This came from our Facebook group earlier today. I'd put a post out asking if people, ask me anything, and this one I found interesting, and I just wanted to make some comments on it because it's something I see come up a lot. And it has to do with social signals and somewhat to do with white hat SEO, but mostly about social signals. And we'll just go get into the question right here. It's actually a four-parter. And the first question was, what do you think of social signals? Are there impact on rankings? Number 2 was, do you use IFTTT on your money site? Number 3, do you do any outreach or white hat, or are you 100% PBNs? And number 4, blog comments, yes or no? So to start off, I just want to clarify something about social signals. When people say social signals, there's a lot of different ideas of what a social signal is. People will say, a Facebook like is a social signal, a share is a social signal. In my mind, before social media even became, popular and really what it is today, my original concept of a blog comment or a forum link was a social signal. Like if you go on Facebook and you create a thread or something, and you link to something, or someone in the comments commenting on it and they're saying different things, and they link to a resource or something like that. I mean, that's essentially the same thing as a blog post, you know what I mean, except for it's in social media format. But it's the same exact thing as someone, back in the day, posting a blog post and people interacting and commenting and sharing other resources and things like that. So when I talk about social signals, what I'm really talking about is signals that Google can interpret as social engagement with your content, right? So something like a Facebook like, first of all, I never really found that to be beneficial as far as pushing rankings. Uh, I've seen, you know, with Facebook shares, retweets, essentially when you are getting more backlinks, from Twitter, or especially when you're generating traffic through these links. It's kind of the difference between putting a blog comment on a website that gets no traffic and a page that's just kind of lost, in the index, versus one that's recent news and it's getting a ton of traffic, and it's, people are clicking on the link and things like that. So when do social signals impact your rankings? Yes, but they have to be the right type of social signals, and they have to be social signals that Google can interpret. Now, I don't know Google's algorithm 100%. I can't sit here and say I know as a fact Google can see or not see certain things. And as their algorithm becomes, more advanced, and deep learning and rank brain and all that, technology just becomes more and more advanced and more humanistic, really. Things are going to change drastically. But something like a Facebook like, I never really, not only did I not really see too much ranking improvements from that type of signal, but it never really made sense to me that that type of social signal would even push rankings, because, for instance, when Facebook had Facebook likes, once they did the emotions, now you can love something or laugh about it or whatever. How would Google react to a change in their software, into what they're doing? Google has to take into account the entire internet with their algorithm. They have to be able to look something on a mass scale. They can't just say this one website is going to determine something, that no other website can really communicate to our algorithm, if that makes sense. So to answer the first question, yes, social signals will improve rankings, but they have to be the type of signals that, are generating links, are generating traffic. They have to be able to be interpreted by Google's algorithm. So again, I don't know exactly how Google's algorithm works 100%, but just when you're thinking about that in terms of, getting a share on Facebook versus, having someone like your Facebook post, or a retweet instead of, whatever, or even things like social embeds, like embedding a tweet on a PBN. You know what I mean? That's essentially a social signal as well, taking that social aspect, that link, and talking about it in another format, and that's going to bring me right to the last question, actually, blog comments, yes or no. Um, like I said, originally I looked at blog comments like like the OG social signal. That was how people talked about things. That's how they interacted. Same in forums. Someone asks a question, or they're talking about a new product or whatever, and people are referencing studies or information or Wikipedia or whatever that is. Um, that was essentially a social signal in my head, and that's kind of the way I treat it. So, do I think blog comments are helpful? Yes. Do I know blog comments are helpful? Yes, yes, I do, because I have used blog comments to link to websites, running tests just using GSA, using blog comments, and you can see the movement. Google is obviously looking at these links and taking them into an account in some area, right? I mean, you could just see the correlation between all I was building was blog comments and rankings were going up. Now, I didn't, become #1 on Google just slamming a site with blog comments. This was just a test to kind of understand, do blog comments make any difference? And that's all we did was blog comments. Now, are some blog comments work and some don't, and how does Google determine that, and what are the factors there? I don't really have any solid data on that type of stuff, but when you're looking at a site, if it's a new piece of content, if it's getting social signals, if there's traffic to the site, you know, the regular authoritative, trustworthy kind of things that, those were where you'd want to do a blog comment preferably. And mostly when I'm talking about blog comments, I'm not referring to where you put your name or a keyword as your name and then put a link, kind of like the black hat tactic. I'm talking about actually finding a piece of content that needs a reference or can be added, add value can be added to it by putting a URL link or referencing something from your site or anything like that. And that's really what I mean when looking at blog comments or the quality of a blog comment. You can, like I said, I use GSA and I've seen ranking improvements, so I know that there are blog comments and circumstances where those are beneficial, and that's why for client campaigns, often we'll look for niche relevant blogs, recent news where we can comment or anything like that, and link to a blog post or something relevant like that, and that's a part of a regular campaign in certain cases, but to answer the question, blog comments, yes or no, the simple answer would be yes, uh, but in all circumstances, no. And if you're just talking straight black hat, like blog commenting kind of thing, has its place, I feel. But as far as a direct linking source for your site, no, not really. So the second question was, do you use IFTTT on your money sites? And yes, I do. I definitely use IFTTT. But I do not use it as a primary ranking strategy. Okay, so I tend not to build out, 4 or 5 rings and do some fancy tiered link. I've done that on a few bigger campaigns like national sites and things, but for most standard campaigns, I'm just not looking to, make a roofing website go viral or even some affiliate niches. I mean, there's a few affiliate niches I'm in where I am using a few IFTTT rings, but they pretty much every single site I do own uses a branded, tier 1 ring IFTTT setup because I want to be able to publish content on the website and share it on my blog and kind of automate that process, for my branded social properties. But is it a major ranking booster? No. I'll maybe do some Facebook shares or retweets on the individual posts to generate those additional backlinks across social media. Again, like I was saying before, those are social signals I believe that matter. But as far as just building the ring, publishing content, and pushing it to my tier 1 properties, that in itself is not a major ranking factor in my SEO. So, and that pretty much brings me into the third question. The major ranking factor is mostly PBNs, private links, and competitor linking. That does play a big part. As far as outreach, white hat outreach, I've played with it a little bit. It's a lot of work, and it may just be that I haven't personally perfected that strategy as much, but it's just really simple for me to put up a website and build a backlink or even network just with other people in the industry who already have sites. So I mean, white hat outreach. I guess I reach out to other PBN and site owners and get links from their properties, sometimes by trading or buying links, or just maybe I have a few people I just work with. That's fine if we're using some of the smaller networks that we have to swap some links or just whatever. Um, but yeah, I don't do a lot of white hat or outreach. I mostly stick to PBNs, links that I 100% control. I could really be strategic with what I'm doing with them, but I structure them almost like white hat outreach links, right? So I'll kind of make it look like a guest post sometimes. I'll do a map embed, like I've said in some previous videos, and do like share the Twitter embed and make some references about key terms, and then link with a branded link to the website, that kind of stuff, to make it look like a white hat or an outreach or a content promotion kind of thing. So, and sometimes too, I just put, an anchor text link in the content and then structure the content so it's optimized. But I'm a big fan of PBNs. I honestly don't like calling them PBNs, but it's just what everyone knows them as. But I'm a big fan of privately owned websites or privately managed websites that other people I know work with, and just getting links that way. So that's pretty much it for this SERP focus segment. I really hope uh, everyone enjoyed it and got something out of it. If you have any questions, we will be pulling questions out of the Facebook group. I'm going to probably bring on some other people too in some future SERP focus segment videos, and get some other people on the channel here to make some comments about some stuff going on in the industry. But if you have any questions, anything that you want to know, if there's someone specific that you want to see on SERP focus, want to hear more about strategy wise PBNs, if you want to hear more about white hat SEO, I know plenty of people who have huge success with outreach. We can get them on here, but get in the Facebook group. I'd love to hear your questions, and I look forward to seeing you in the group and in a future SERP focus segment. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.